Psych. Sorry. Kaio left. She went to the gym. So I'm going to take lunch when she gets back. Obviously, I don't want to eat alone. Fuck that. Part of the beauty of eating lunch is eating it with other people. So now we can fucking finish this, and I'm so sorry. I just fucking tanked my viewership and everything else. I'm a fucking dipshit. Doesn't matter. I'm totally stupid. Alright, let's talk about base and about math. So, fucking, we count in something called base 10. Why do they call it that? They call it that because we get a new digit every time we go 10. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then at the 10th one, you get a new digit. Why was it on the 10th one and not after 10? Because 0 is a number, and it does count. So it really goes like this. After 10, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then that 11th one is actually, that 11th number is the one with 2 digits. So we every 10 do that. We're very used to it. We don't know it, but I mean, I just raised a little girl, and so I just watched her figure out what base 10 was when she was like 3. I had to teach it to her. She didn't know it. Nobody does. No one understands base 10 until someone explains it to them. A computer explained base 10 to me when I was 3 because I had a TI-90 with numeration on it. They had blocks that would fly across the screen in tens and show me the tens place and the ones place and how that works. The human brain is not wired to count that way when it's born. It's wired with nothing, and we condition it to count in base 10. So the computers don't count in base 10. The reason why they don't do that is because computers work with a giant vibrating quartz crystal or otherwise crystal called the CPU. And that vibration rate's the number of hertz that the gigahertz is measured in. That CPU speed is how many times that thing vibrates back and forth. And every time it vibrates back and forth, it's checking the state of electricity. And that state of electricity can either be on or off. 0 or 1. And so the way that computers count is in binary, meaning that they gain a digit every 2 that they do. 0, 1. 0. It goes 0, then 1, then 0, 1, then 1, 1, and so on. And it goes up in powers of 2 because the 0 and the 1 on the other side will continue to go 0. Each one will move back and forth each time that the next digit cycles. So it ends up being in powers of 2 when you read binary, with the first one being 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, and so on. That's how binary works. With 8 zeros or 1s lined up in a row, you get a byte. And a byte should be 256, if I'm not mistaken, which is 8 iterations of that. That's how computers count. Now, the funny thing about bytes are that you can count with bytes too. And the way that it works with binary is very special when you're within these special magic numbers, these 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, the powers of 2. The power 2s are the most powerful thing on... I think that the powers of 2 are the most powerful mathematical concept in the world. I do think that it boils down to the mysteries of the universe. Some people think that 49 or something is, the Hitchhiker's Guide thing, or 42, I forgot. It's the powers of 2, actually, that unlock the universe, in my opinion. Anyway, the powers of 2, though, lock in other ways of counting. And one of them is called hexadecimal. And that's just the opposite of trying to make things more efficient. It's making things less efficient. We count now 16 times before we go to the next digit. So it goes something like this. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A, B, C, D, E, F. 1, 0. 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7, 1, 8, 1, 9, 1, A, 1, B, 1, C, 1, D, 1, E, 1, F, and so on. That's hexadecimal. And each 16 that goes through Any digit will bring on the next digit. Because you can take a hexadecimal value and it will always be within these 16s, it fits down into bytes really easy, and you can read a byte as a hexadecimal value very quickly because it can only one out of 120 of I'm sorry, you can read it as a 2-digit hexadecimal value, 16 times 16, right? That's what I'm talking about. So it's very useful. Anyway, sometimes because we want to make things faster, or we want to be able to quickly see the actual byte that we are sending, we use a hexadecimal value to send that information out into the variable rather than base 10. And that's what we're doing here. So 5F is going to be what number, you may ask. And that is 5 times 16 plus 16, I think, or plus 15, whatever that is. So calculator out. Bet you motherfuckers never expected I'd be teaching fucking math. Alright, 16 times 5 plus 15. 75 sounds about right. I'll bet that's what it is. We can check up on my manual math by just being like, am I off by 1? $95. What did I do wrong? I definitely fucked it up. Oh, I did 15 times 5 instead of 16 times 5. That'll help. That was a typo. Plus, and then the 15. Yep. It was just a typo. Concept stays the same. I'm not wrong. I just made a typo. And that's why you check your work. It's very important. So anyway, this is fucking 95 here for the movement speed. And then we're declaring a rigid body 2D object, and that is an RB, whatever that is. This is a rigid body. So you can declare variables that are within this Unity engine. This Unity engine has a variable called a rigid body. It's already a class probably with a bunch of stuff that's inside it. We can learn about that by asking ChatGPT about it or by going through the Unity documentation and API. That's how you do that. So we've got fucking RB there. That's a rigid body. And then we've finally got vector 2, and that is, just like I was talking about this bicycle before, that's going to show where it's going, and that is a movement. And the movement is a object that we are declaring here, and we are going to define it over there as to what it is. So movement contains an X and a Y and a normalized quality. So these classes, by the way, in C#, when you're building a class, and we're not building really too much of a class here, but it is a class. So player movement dot rigid, or dot, I'm sorry, player movement dot RB is how we call on this variable outside of this class. And player movement dot move speed is 5F in this case. And player movement dot vector 2 is what the vector of player movement is. All right, that's how you address a class. Well, we have another class within our class, and that class is this class, which is movement. So movement's a class, and within this class there is stuff that we can't see. It's not in our notepad file. It's in the Unity engine library. But in it, trust me, just like in here where they've got public, private, blah, 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 there's a public X, a private X, or whatever. There's some shit in there that we can't see unless we open it up. We assume it's in there. It is. If you know it's in there, you can call on it. We're calling on it. And we're calling on X and Y and normalize. Those are the three things. Normalize is a function. That's a void. because it's not giving us anything back. So inside of movement, there's a void called normalize, and there's also a private and a private called x and y. That is my guess. It could be public. I don't know. So knowing now that we're working within a class that has already had definitions made within it by Unity, and I'm assuming all of this stuff, and I know I'm correct, but it's something you'll learn over time as you work in other people's libraries. You'll learn whether or not something like this is a C# command or whether it's dependent on this Unity engine. You notice how in here, this reference here, it's not saying, oh, it came from here. And there's no Unity engine dot happening either. This library, you can do Unity engine dot. In fact, a lot of things require that. Not in this case. So we don't have that. Anyway, movement.x is equal to get axis row horizontal. Movement.y is equal to input.get axis raw vertical. So it's getting something here and putting it in there. And then it does this normalize. And I'm sure this function is setting the xy value to a different thing over time as this happened. And it's very interesting that this has some comments on it, because this get axis raw is obviously WS, U, and D. And this get axis raw for X is A, D, left, and right. But I would not have known get axis raw is get axis keyboard, right? So it's interesting to have to kind of infer that about this. And then finally we have fixed update. So RB.movePosition. So RB is the rigid body. That's this class. Within this class, which is in the Unity engine, written by someone else, is a function or method called movePosition. That method receives arguments. What are arguments? Arguments are the things that go inside these parentheses. They're user-provided data. That's what arguments are. You get to say what it is. The user can give numbers or words or fucking whatever the user the fuck wants to put in there. That's what arguments are. You can take as many of them into a method that you want. This movePosition method has one argument. How do I know that? It's because this is all a math calculation. It is taking the position plus the movement times the movement speed times the time from this object, which is another class, fixed delta time, from the time object, and it is grabbing it. I'm guessing that time object is dealing with the CPU and translating it to minutes and seconds, because that's how time is done. You wait in milliseconds usually when you're dealing with C#. So I usually deal with a 1000 to wait 1 second if I'm doing any kind of wait values. These delta time values, I would bet money they're in the milliseconds. I don't see them. We're not going to see them move, but this is what it is. So in here, Notepad will do the best to detect syntax errors from you. So if I put update, no, that's not true. That can be whatever I want. This could be happy birthday if I wanted it to be. If I put move Kent, nothing happens. If I put Privant, it changes color, but I'm not getting any red here. If I have unbalanced parentheses, I'm not getting any penalties here. So this is not the most ideal coding workspace you can have. It's the best budget one you can have that you can have in 2 seconds, but what Visual Studio will do for you that this won't is it will ensure that all of your syntax in C# is correct, or it will underline it and say, hey, this is it. It will make sure that all of your library references are correct, and if you reference something that your library isn't there, it will look and try to find it and see if it knows what it is. And if it knows what it is, it'll be like, hey, you didn't reference this DLL file. Is it in your system? Do you need to download it from the internet? Sometimes it'll even give you a link. And here's another thing I don't ever want you to do that you can do that sucks. And I've seen people at work do it, and it drives me crazy. You can go ahead and put using here as a network location or as a website, and it will reference it over the internet. So what you've done, essentially, if you're stupid enough to reference a library on the internet or in a network location, is you've made your program damned if ever that source goes away. You do not want to write vaporware, guys. Don't do that. Why would you write vaporware? It's just so that you could save 2 seconds of downloading something into your project and having it. Having a dependency on someone else's website for no reason is the stupidest fucking thing. And I see it happen at work. I have to sit there and ignore things like this a lot because otherwise I wouldn't get along with anybody. Like, it's hard to juggle not being an asshole and then also being right all the time and people fucking things up. It's hard, trust me. That's why this is a better fit for me. This whole idea is just a way fucking better fit. But regardless of whether it's a better fit or not, if you get C# checking your work for you and stuff using your Visual Studio, and you don't use those web references, you're going to be in a lot better position, and you're not going to be writing the vaporware. And this I know is incorrect syntax, because I know, and also it was partially guided development here, even though I could totally make this on my own. I know exactly what limitations this has and why things are working. If you guys have any questions, I said, yeah, I work at a company that I hate. I'm about to stop. This is the end of the line, Jiggly Girls. This is it. I'm changing my life. So what you're witnessing here is the start of me making a proof of concept that after I'm finished making it and I decide that I'm absolutely in a position where I can make this product that no one else can make, I'm going to quit. And I'm going to quit in a very fun way. Until then, I have to be secret about where I worked. I've worked at a lot of places with corruption in them. The ones that I've worked for and quit I can talk about, and the one I work for now I can't. But everywhere I've worked for was corrupt in one way or another, even McDonald's. So it's just the way it is. I fucking hate corporate life. It's really, really hard to have a bunch of people suffering around you that don't want to be there, that don't believe in the mission. Not all corporate life is like that, but the corporate life that I'm currently in is like that. It's their fault. It's their culture. They did it. They took something that was beautiful and they shat all over it. And I don't want to be a part of it anymore. So what's happening is I'm taking my big stack of money and I'm going to make a video game. And I'm going to pay myself for however many years I can with the money I have, and then I'm going to release it, and I'm going to make a bunch of money off the game. That's the idea. I'm a dad, so I've got a little girl to support, and I'm married, and we've got lots of real responsibilities that I still have to do. So it's important, if you decide to do this for yourself, if you want to copy me and do this, you do have to be rich enough that you don't have... that you can pay your bills for the amount of time it's going to take to do your project if you want to do it full time like this. I can do that for about 2 years. And the reason I can do that is because I don't have any debt. I own everything outright that I have. I don't pay rent. I don't pay subscriptions to anything but ChatGPT. I have a very frugal lifestyle. So it's something you can do. Or you can do it by working like a maniac. And you're going to watch me work like a maniac in the next coming days. I'm going to put in some time at night that you have not been used to me seeing me do. It's not my style. And I'm going to do it because I want to put myself in a position where I don't feel like I'm taking a risk. And I do want to quit in a very spectacular way. And if I don't have a mic drop moment where I expose a bunch of corruption and I quit peacefully so that I can come back, it's because I'm not confident that I can be successful with this project. So I'm being careful. But this is absolutely me quitting my job very soon. That's what's happening. And I'm going to teach you all everything I do through this whole project, and we're going to all become great coders together, whether you quit your job or not. Okay, so let's save this. Save as it is. We don't want to save it as something else. It is here in Notepad, and it will change in Notepad, but it's also here. And now that that's happened, look what's going on. It is updating my script, and it's finding that something's happened here. And if I look at my player movement script now, you can see that it's all here. It's no longer blind to the changes that I've made to it. And I am looking at it. It looks like the syntax is good. And the sooner I get Visual Studio on my computer, the better, for sure. Okay, so let's move on to the next step in this process. I think we can hit the play button and actually do stuff, which is unbelievable. I can't believe we're at this point already. This has been so easy compared to corporate work. At work, I'm doing math that with amounts of data and products and the volume of data that I am executing code against is just so phantasmally huge. Like, you're selling millions of products. So, like, every one of those products has lines of data with, like, child lines of data of all their components and child lines of data of all the testing that was done. My God, it is a fucking nightmare. And if after all of that I can't make a game, what the fuck is wrong? So did I hit play? I don't remember if I did. I'm hitting it now. All right, so it's being hit. Here we go. What's going to happen here? What's going to happen? All right, I have a blue screen. I'm using the motherfucking up and down keys. All right, so I've got a humanly controlled square, guys. I've done it. We've got a humanly controlled square. This is where I was going to take lunch. Kaya went back. As soon as she's back from the gym, and I mean it, the second I hear that fucking door, I am going to try to get myself some company. And so I'll put it nicely. And, oh, I've got a fucking square moving around. Guys, that's fucking awesome. This is the best game ever made. Now, see, remember the goal. Remember what my lofty goal is. My lofty goal today is not about making the game look good. It's about making the artificial intelligence control the game objects and giving it control of the game environment and awareness of the game environment. That is so much more of a mission than making graphics. So please forgive me for staying on task here, but we're going to end up making a couple other objects. I am curious about this. See, don't destroy on load. That's interesting. I don't know what that is. But look at, I'm going to stop the play. So that thing is a temporary object. It goes into the hierarchy. That's very interesting. I'm observing that. I don't know what it means. But it's something I really want to get. So, and figure out. Next, we make another object. I want to see, I'm not using the AI to guide me here. I'm now doing human stuff again. I'm going to right click on this player and see if I can duplicate it. Boom, I duplicated it. Rename. And this is all just instinct here. So I'm going to call this player 2. Okay, so I need to move it. Let's move object player 2. Let's take that object. Can I move it? Can I move that object? Am I allowed to move objects with this? No, I'm not. Move it with this. Nope. Player 2. Move object. Nope. Player 2. Can I touch the red and do it? Nope. Player 2. Can I touch the green and move it? Yes. These are the axis buttons. Okay. All right. So this is how it works. This is like AutoCAD software. If any of you have ever done any 3D modeling or worked with STL files or 3D printers or Maya or any of that shit, you'll be familiar with what this is. If you have not worked with that stuff, I'm going to give you this overview now. So these are axis bars. There's another one, by the way, that we don't see here because we are in orthopic, some O word that's big, that means that we're in 2D and that our camera's facing straight down and that we can't see a third dimension here. If there was a third dimension, there would be another arrow going out this way, and these arrows have to be clicked specifically in order to drag the object around, and it locks it on the axis it's in. So if I carry this by the green and swing my mouse left and right, which is what I'm doing, you can't see my mouse, sorry about that, but it can only go up and down. I can't go left and right. And the same goes here, I can only go left and right, can't go up and down. So there's no easy, fun, quick positioning. This is gonna kind of suck. And do I know of another way to control this object? No, I don't. Is there one? There might be. The transform tool here, this is interesting too. It might actually change some of these values, like the size values automatically. There's a lot of really interesting things I can play with later. But I want two objects. I've got a player 2. I'm looking in here, and right now, if I run this, What do you think is going to happen? Let's put those critical thinking caps on. Say it in the chat if I run this. What do you think is going to happen if I run this and then push up, left, and right? My theory, and I don't know what is correct, you don't need to put it in chat. I'll wait till I have that much interaction. That'd be amazing. But both are going to move at the same time. That's exactly what's going to happen. Let's go. It should happen anyway, if I'm lucky. And then I want to give independent control. I want to give WASD to 1, and I want to give... I want to make it a hot seat game. Look at it go! All right. This is awesome. It is non-independent remote control of 2 separate objects in the game field. God, I love it. Look at this thing. I'm starting to notice it. This is a border. I'll bet I can move it. It's that camera, right? This playing field is bigger than the camera. Let's see what happens if I move outside of the camera. I've got questions now, so we're going to answer some questions for ourselves about this. I just have to know a little bit about the limitations of the play space. No collision on the sides of the camera. The camera is not following the object. All right? I want to put some indicators around our playing field that'll give us the feeling that we're moving. We have no point of reference. You don't know whether or not these objects are changing their position, or whether or not the camera is making an illusion that they're actually in the same spot and that the camera's moving around. It could be. This could be the camera moving. You don't fucking know. I know it's not because we programmed it all. Actually, you know too. But you wouldn't know looking at it. And looking at any other game like this, you wouldn't know either. So that's that Einstein relativity bullshit. Like, it all, from our data points right here, is the same. It could be the camera. It could be the object moving. So, anyway, out we go. That collision is interesting. We put collision on these objects. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the player movement script here, which is the same script, and I'm going to duplicate that too. And I'm going to make it player 2 movement. Can I duplicate this? Copy path. So why won't you let me duplicate this? That's kind of lame. For real? You can't even copy it? Why not? That's kind of horse shit. Why? All right, I'm not accepting this. Oh. So, if you are using a tool, especially a big one like this, and something unacceptable happens in your worldview, and you don't want your workflow to be shitty for the entirety of your project, you probably should take a minute and be like, this is fucking unacceptable, rather than just going on or working around it, and see whether or not there is anything that can be done, or if we're misunderstanding this. So, all right, I've asked it why I can't duplicate the script asset easily within the asset window in Unity. And Unity does not allow direct duplication of script assets using Control-D or right-click duplication, because scripts require unique names and they will not assign the name for you. You have to do it manually. God damn it! So it is unacceptable, but I have to do it anyway. Now, I could write a script to do it for me. So I can right-click this and show in Explorer. So we already looked at the file system. We've already determined that this is some horse shit, right? So now we're here, and copy the file, rename it. It's so easy. So notice this meta file is here. What's going to happen with that? I'm very curious about the meta file. Let's see what's going on with this fucking meta file. Copy that and then paste it. Now it's going to just appear here. I know that. And we've got the copy here. Player 2 movement is what I want to call it. So I'm going to call it player 2 movement. And now that I have player 2 movement, it should show up here, and I'm guessing it's creating a metafile right now. So there it is, player 2 movement. Let's go back and see if it made a metafile. It sure the fuck did. It's right there. So these metafiles are being generated by Unity, and everything you put into the assets are going to get a metafile, and it's going to be made. Remember when I was observing our file system before, and I was noticing that that shit was happening? It's becoming even more important that we're aware of how the file system interactions are. I hate that I have to do this. This is fucking stupid. Unity, fix this. This is stupid. I should be able to right-click this. It should make me a new fucking name. It should make the copy name on there and allow me to type right away what the new name is. That's fucking stupid. You know how many times I'm going to be duplicating scripts? It's unreal how many times I'm going to be doing that. So now I got to go back into Notepad to edit it. That's the other thing. Why the fuck can't I edit this goddamn thing in Unity? Why can't they give me a fucking basic script editor? They probably have one, but that's another. I'm going to find out. Do they have a basic script editor? Unity has a built-in integration with a code editor like Visual Studio. So I have to do a full integration of Visual Studio with this. And again, I'm probably going to have to buy a software license with real money. So that sucks. But you're going to watch me do that probably this afternoon. I'm probably going to buy Visual Studio with real money. I've had corporations buy Visual Studio for me for years. Also, my dad bought me a copy of Visual Studio 98. It was Microsoft Visual Suite. It was everything. It was C#, or no, I'm sorry, it was C++ and Visual Basic. It was the works. I had that, and that bitch was expensive, and I didn't make dick with it. I did not make dick with it. I did use it. I learned how to use it. I just didn't make dick with it. And it became outdated. And then I learned all this business. I did all this business. So thank God he gave it to me because I know how to do object-oriented programming because I had it. But I didn't make anything cool. And now I'm going to make some cool shit. Oh, we got to make the AI also know how to write music and make music. And I'm going to teach the AI how to write music like I do. And it's going to be cool. We got that as well to look forward to this year. Everything is just exciting now instead of shitty. It's... God, it just takes you just gotta take a little bit of fucking control of your life if you want. It's so hard though. It took so long to prepare. I sit here and say it like it's so easy. That took too long to prepare. I could have done this by working overtime the entirety of all this time too, and that would have taken care of me as well. And that's kind of what's going to happen for the next month. And then I've got a target quit date of like May 5th or so. We'll see what happens. We will see if we can make that fucking date or not. I've got lots of PTO time to use in the meantime. People are going to be like, why are you on PTO every Wednesday? It's because I'm fucking leaving. Alright, let's see here. Alright. I want player 2. I've got player 1 in here, so I gotta drag this shit into the CS. There we go. Player 2 movement. Okay, so we don't even need to do anything with this. This is the same. Private rigid body. Do we want 2 of these? This is within this class. Within the player movement class. Player 2 movement. Yes. Simple as that. Okay. Now we go back, and our duplicated player 2 should be connected to player 1 movement, but we need to connect that to player 2 movement, and it should still run together if we do it right, if it's correct. So let's see. Let's get this script changed. what the hell? I don't want that. Get out of here. Remove the script. What the hell? How do I get rid of shit? How do I get rid of a component? Remove. Alright, good. All right. Add component. Player 2 movement. New script. Name. Not new script. No. We want player 2 movement. There it is. Alright. So if I run this, I should have 2 squares going the same way with 2 scripts. And I should be able to change one of the scripts to bind to one control scheme. And I should be able to do one of the scripts to bind to the other control scheme. Mind you, if you think about this, we started on install / I'm going to talk too much about computers today. And now we have controllable objects. And we're still making major progress on the second phase of this, which is the AI. And that's here. What? That's not here. That's here? No. I think it's done. I think the AI is installed. So, I hope so. LM Studio. Let's get that open. Yeah, it's this thing. I don't know. I probably closed it by mistake. I hope not. Getting distracted again, guys. Okay, here we go. Let's run this. Oh, there we go. It works. So that's great. Confirming. Affirmation that all the shit I said is true. No more calculators. Where's my... Is this it? This thing it? It looks like this. Are you damaged? It looks damaged. I don't like it. Well, it's not important right now. Let's leave it open, damaged like this, and see what it does. Not worried about it right now. I want to make a second player that is a second player. So let's figure out how to do this. All right. What do we have to do to control the keystrokes here? So let's think about this. Get access raw is going to give us automatically WASD or left up right down. We want to separate them for whatever stupid reason. And eventually we're going to want to map this stuff to user choices. We want them to be able to choose the controller or WASD or arrow or whatever the fuck they want. That is going to have to make all of these into variables, and these scripts are going to have to be exchangeable, and when they make the choice, the script will change. That's how that will work. So here we've got this modified script, and the update part is the part we have to modify. The rest of it, I believe, stays identical. So, yep, the fixed update stays the same. The only thing different is we have to explicitly map the controls. So let me go in here, and instead of doing this, I'm going to do this. Explicitly WASD only controls, which are having if-else statements. And I know your knee-jerk reaction if you are new to programming is going to be that you're probably going to get some kind of input delay if you have a decision point at the input point. If you're having the computer decide things every time that the user's putting an input in. And I need to express that if there aren't loops involved, that most computer operations, including conditional ones like this, which are if, then, else, etc., unless they're nested more than 7 times, will take microseconds to complete and are not observable by the human brain, which means that latency is basically non-existent to you. Every latency is real. It's a little bit of latency. It's probably less latency than the time it takes for the key to push down and the electricity to move through to the computer, but it's still a little bit. So don't worry about putting a bunch of if statements on every input command you do. That's how games become complicated and fun to play. The more conditions that the player can bring upon themselves, the more different interactivity that their game will provide. So these if statements are crucial, and without them, the game won't be interesting in the least, even though all we're doing is stopping the arrow keys from working in this case. So if it's W, we move Y this way. And you'll notice that this is a hexadecimal value of about 30. And this is negative 30. And this is 30, and this is negative 30 here. So if it's S, then it goes minus 30, and so on. This makes things very clear. And then obviously, this thing here is still set to 15 each. And I don't remember this having a declaration of that nature. So we did not declare a initial value here. That's interesting. I don't know how this movement works, or if 0F is a non-reverse point, and if 0F is actually the dead zone. I have no idea. So we're going to have to look at it. But now this is the player 2 movement, which means how is this going to behave now? Right this second. Now that I've done that and come back, if I play, what's going to change here? Is that F not hexadecimal, Smooth Dog? Is that what you're telling me? That's not a hexadecimal value and that's a float value instead? That's quite possible. But that's not Unity, that's C sharp. And usually C sharp, I don't do that. Usually I declare it as an int. But it is within its own class of movement, which I haven't defined. So someone else already defined what that variable is. Usually if someone else defines the variable, I don't have to call it a float. So I mean, I'm going to actually make sure your question gets answered here, actually. It's very important to me. I'm pretty sure that's a hexadecimal value. It is a float number. You're correct. In Unity, that data type is 5F is equal to a 5.0. So I taught you guys that wrong, but I'm not wrong about everything I said about base 10 and all of that is correct. The only thing I'm wrong about is what the numeric values of these variables were. It's no big deal. So now if we go back to correct that mistake, we don't have to do anything because all of this is right. But now we know move speed is 5. We are calling it 0, which makes way more sense. We're initializing our fucking variables, which goes back to the commandments, which I'm here. There is that. Okay. I wish I could tell you the stories. I wish I could tell you how many millions of dollars of damages I've seen happen because people didn't initialize variables. I've also seen people die because people didn't initialize variables. What I mean by die is that equipment that is mass produced had safety failures as a result of some idiot not setting X to 0 and then having X initialized by accident with random electricity to a value that caused something very dangerous to stop working. Something that I have to measure and report about a long time ago. We're not talking about any companies specifically. I'm telling you, though, that initializing variables is fucking important. And a game crash is nothing. If you're dealing with real business or real embedded software in like aircraft or missiles or automobiles or home like construction equipment or engines or whatever, I don't care what it is you're making, like that, you got to do it. All right, so that's on the commandments. Now that we have variables being properly initialized, and they're initialized properly here too, you'll notice the first mention of them, they get initialized. They're just initialized directly to that movement input. And now we're initializing it 0 here. And now we're declaring 1 and -1, 1 and -1 here. Super simple. Much easier than hexadecimal. Very happy that it's not hexadecimal. So unity is strange. Interesting. All right. Anyway, so what's going to happen when we execute this? The answer should be that the fucking both of them will move if I hit WASD together. But only one of them will move if I hit the arrow keys. Let's go. Arrow keys. WASD. Oh, that was weird. They came desynced a little bit. What was that all about? Hold on. Can I get them desynced again? Do you see, like, I feel like they're getting closer together. Look at this. Something ain't perfect about this. See this, guys? The fuck is going on? Collision! Oh, fuck! Look what I've done. I've rotated them. All unintentional behaviors. What's going on? Are my scripts shitty? Yeah, they're shitty scripts, obviously. We are not taking into account all kinds of corner cases, aren't we? That's fucking hilarious. I love how there's momentum and all this stuff is kind of like present, but it's not like defined. Where is it defined? Where did I define that this motion was slowly gonna draw down to 0 here? I don't recall having a motion decay default that I set. So there's things everywhere that I have to think about controlling that I have not been controlling. We can still move this, but I can't stop the rotation. I have nothing bound to rotation at all. Let's slam into this. No physics. I can spin it. Spinning physics is there. There is absolutely no collision physics. So when I punch that vector, it does not transfer any energy over into this one. I could totally make it like real physics by using some math and changing that so that when on this event where these collisions occur, that we add velocity to one and we add an opposite vector of the vector that the one coming in has, right? So that's all just basic thinking about science, think about math, think about physics, and just know your game and real life are very, very much following the same math if you want your user to experience what's known in the game world as realism. So that's what we're going to end up having eventually with these objects be controlled by AI. Where are you, AI? You're dead. Ugh. I'm very frustrated with the LM Studio portion of this. It's not going well. Okay, it's back. Where's my models? My models. I think I crashed. Sucks. That was a 2-hour download. That is very unfortunate. I don't have anything. Okay. We're going to have to get it again, guys. I'm sorry. Sucks. It was Mistral 7B. Not Mathstral, son of a bitch. I have to fucking find what the goddamn thing is. Okay, it's Mixtral 8X7B. Damn it. I found it before. There it is. Instruct. Wait, something's already downloading. Oh, there it is. Timed out. Please resume. What the fuck? Why did it crash? Oh man, this is super lame. I just want to download the goddamn thing. What the fuck is up, Moog? Okay, so let me tell you the scope of this fucking project. This is a proof of concept where we take some Unity objects and we are going to embed artificial intelligence into the objects themselves. We're going to train that AI to communicate instead of through English. We're going to have it communicate through Unity commands and also English as well, also through Unity commands. So it will use its LLM through the Unity interface, and it will act as a player object that can speak to the player. The player is going to use voice controls to speak to the AI and tell it what to do, and then the AI is going to control the object in Unity. That is the scope of the project at this time. After that proof of concept has been solidified, and I have shown you all that by a very crude definition that I can put a real AI that I am in control of, that's uncensored and unclouded, into my game, that means that I can make a novel thing that nobody's doing, or that people might be just barely trying to do, and I'm going to be one of the first to do it, and if I'm not the first, I'm going to be the best to do it. So that's the fucking plan. It's going to be fun as hell because we're going to make all sorts of crazy shit, and we're going to make the game understand how to build itself and stuff. We're going to basically be gods. So, fun times. That's what it is, Moog. Smooth Dog, I have every confidence I'm going to achieve this demo. I've already got a roadmap all the way to the end. We just have to get there together. That's all. And the hardest part right now is getting Mixtral to download properly. A simple computer weight networking issue is causing all my problems right now. No downloads yet. Oh my god, now it's back with nothing. It's down, it crashes again. I'm gonna dark up again and look at the C drive. Sorry guys. 0 bytes free. It's got more. I've got to do everything again. That thing, I needed 20 gigs. I didn't get 20 gigs. I got half of it. Son of a bitch. I should have checked. That was stupid. Alright, I'll have this taken care of in no time. Alright, these go. Okay. How many bytes free do I have? That is not the C drive. Almost done, guys. Sorry about this. Mm. 20 gig free. Is that free without that temp crap on there? I need a little more. I've got to get a little more. It's one of those son of a bitch moments. All right, what do we got? I can't touch any of that shit. Can't touch that shit. This should be able to go. Why does this have to download to the C drive? It's so stupid. All these voice AI models. I'm gonna get rid of these. Fuck this. Okay. Eventually, I'll probably want those back, but whatever. I'll re-download them if I want them back. I gotta go to this stupid recycle bin, and then I'm good. Empty that bitch. All right. Let's get ourselves out of dark mode. There we are. Welcome back, one and all. It is time for the next step to get this goddamn AI. I want it. The more close I get, I still have to do a lot in this Unity stuff. I need to make another object for these guys to pick up and fight over. And I'm also probably, even though I've got these squares and stuff in there, I'm probably going to fuck around and find out about the Unity assets that are just like, you know, they're canned assets. So I get some people with swords and shit in there. And just fuck around with that too. But from a fundamentalist point of view, I'm not going to do anything that I don't know how to do. I really want to make sure that I don't depend on other people's work to get this done too much. And if I do depend on it, like art, I want to make sure that I really want to decentralize it from other artists, which means it's either going to be AI generated based on my instructions, or it's going to be my art or Kaio's art. Kaio's going to contribute some art. We're going to train the AI to use her art style, which is the goal, to make characters. So that'll be fun. All right. Oh, nice. I already have 50% of it, and I got 20 gig more. I should be okay. Saying an hour and 15 minutes left on this bitch. So by the time I'm back from lunch, it's going to be time to talk to this AI. We'll look at prompt engineering and feeding the model and restricting it and all the parameters we get. We'll look at the API. We'll have a lot of studying to do when we get this AI. It's exciting to have my own. Haven't you ever wanted your own? And by your own, I mean, you're not bound by this stupid cloud and this stupid account and the stupid guardrails that won't let you do anything that's like considered to be by the man inappropriate. Like, bullshit. Fuck that. I don't want my calculator to be guardrailed by some bullshit. I want my guardrail to do what I want my fucking thing to do whatever I want it to do, including control parts of my computer. I'm gonna have to be careful about that too. I might end up unleashing some sort of beast here. Actually, I'm fully aware that actually could happen, and I'm gonna try my best not to do that. If I have to, I can always unplug this bitch. But it's really gonna be an AI that's in control of the computer, of at least certain parts of it. So I could definitely make the game call you a bitch. It's Grasshopper Jar. Basically, I could put your face on one of the grasshoppers. It'll be nice. You'll be a bitch, I promise. So that's what we're gonna do with this. Ah, that was my one can. But it's not that was supposed to be one. But I mean, I was supposed to also get lunch, and it's 1:30. And someone hasn't come back from the gym yet. So does that mean that it's time for another beer? That I will not be passing out? I think I can not pass out and have one more. Then I'll eat, and then I'll be just fine. I don't have to pick Yuna up or anything. That's mommy's job. So, yeah. I think I can have one more. What the fuck is this? I don't want Gemma. What the fuck is this? Get out of here. Stupid shit. Alright. I'm glad I saw that. That would have wasted my C drive. back to Unity. I need beer. So I'm going to stop this here. That was really interesting interaction those objects had. I'm going to go get the beer, and we're going to come back and see what we can do. Alrighty. The next thing I want to do is make these things be able to carry something. I'm also curious about these assets in the asset store. I'm kind of torn about what I'm going to do right now. If I'm going to fuck around and find out, or if I'm going to just make this as basic as possible. I want to see this, so I'm going to look at this. And it is actually not just, it is a store. You have to buy these. So these are licensed. If you get them, you can use them. That's kind of nice, but at the same time, also, that's expensive for some of these. You can sell code. So like my AI interface that I make, for example, I could actually put the scripts I write in here if I wanted to and sell them. And I could license them. I probably should, because I need to make every part of the... Well, I don't know. If I do that, though, I don't know. I need to think about how to monetize every fucking part of what I'm doing. Otherwise, I will starve to death. We cannot have that. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to the man. So this is going to be an option. It's another place I can make money. But I have to have original ideas. So... let me see here. This is going to be 2D and characters and there's going to be any free assets. I want something free. No. 2D characters. There might not be free. I'm not buying anything. This is interesting. So, take a look at these guys. This is very much like a RPG Maker, you know, and these are obviously sprite sets, as you can see. They're not at all. This is a YouTube video, for fuck's sake. It's not even real. But this is just like an RPG Maker back in the day when we'd have sprite sets and each one has a different position and things. And you can actually, in this, you're not bound to the sprite animation count that was in the RPG Maker, where they would have like for your sword cut, you'd have like 3 frames that you'd get for your sword cut in that. And oh, can you? All right, I'll filter by for free. Where is that pricing? There it is. 0. You are right. Thank you for that, chat. I love it. That's Mattis. Mattis, you're fucking awesome. Thank you for the fucking clutch. There it is. All right, so I want a top-down. I want a top-down dude. I don't want an astronaut with a cutting thing. Beggars can't be choosers, though. I mean, I do realize. Nothing saying top-down in here. That would be nice. There's only 200, so I really don't have a lot to work with, but I'm still interested. I'm interested in importing one of these things. Miniature army, 2D. So this is somewhat promising. The fuck is that? All right, so these are just dudes. I mean, we could have them walk up, down like that. It could be top down with a dumb looking perspective. I'm all right with that. These are nice. Do they pick things up? They look like they carry objects. Yeah, they do. These things carry objects. This is exactly what we need. So I'm just going to do that. That doesn't mean we're going to use this
in the actual game were not. I wanted to see this. So now that I've done that, where did they go? Well, they're in the asset store, right? Or did I have to download it? Purchase date. This is really interesting. I'm definitely not going to be buying a lot of these or even using a lot of free ones. I'm going to be auto-generating them. What I'm going to do is feed a system that Kaio makes of character animations, and I'm actually going to try to get the AI to fill in the blank. So I'm going to have her make one like top down standing facing forward, and top down turned around facing backwards, and then on the side, and then like bending over and picking something up. And I'm going to have AI fill in the blanks between those positions so that they look like they get up and down and stuff. And hopefully they'll only have to be a few base sets. And eventually I actually think I should be able to get the AI trained to make the sprite sets with only the front and back picture, which is ideal. So that's the idea. All right, so anyway, download this. Importing this to the project. It should show up in my hierarchy here, I bet. And there's a package. That's a lot going on there. I sure want everything. Let's talk about this. So I recognize a lot of stuff here. This is the whole package. Then we've got some folders, and then we've got characters, and then we have ANIMs, and then controllers inside of them. Each one of these is just like the controller here for these controllers. And the ANIM things are different. And we're going to work through this too. ANIM is the way that Unity will chain pictures together in order to make it look like things are moving around. The fact that this is all set up already, and that all these scripts come with it, and that we have all of these characters that are prefabbed and ready to go in here, looks great. You could choose to not import the knight or whatever if you want to save space. I'm just doing it. I hope it doesn't get in the way of what I'm doing. Okay, I've got that now. Miniature army is now here. Do you see it? It's down in this spot. So I do believe I still have to grab something out of here in order to make it work. These are the prefabs, and as you can see, they have that same icon that we see up here, which is kind of the Unity icon. So I'm assuming that if I drag one of these bitches up here, that it will appear, or I might even be able to drag it into the scene itself. Let's go for the knight. Oh, I can totally drag it into the scene. So there it is. And once again, we're restricted the same way with these other objects by dragging this and this on the X and Y axis. Our Z is locked at 0. We can see the animator here, and there aren't a lot of components here that are deep within this. I'm very interested in the controller, and I think we have to add that. I don't think that this just happens. Well, let's see what happens when I hit play. I'm going to smack into him with the boxes. That's what's going to happen. All right. Oh, he's animated. Boom. Oh, nope. Flies right by him. He's got no collision. Both of them moving. He has no controller in him. So he's just animated. These have collision. So cool. All right. Stop. Oh, someone's calling me. If it's work, that wouldn't be good. It's probably the car repair people. Yep. Hello? Ugh. Fuck. I think it's the car repair people.
Hello, I'm returning a call. This is Jeremy Thorne. Nice. Correct. Oh, interesting. I'm just curious. What's your cash offer on that? Just wondering. I love that car. I mean, I don't care that much. I love that vehicle. I don't want to sell it. It's just interesting because I did buy it for a song. I literally bought it for a song, so I could probably flip. I bet you'd pay me more than I bought it for. That would be cool. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I love the car. I want to keep it. So, do you have any news on the repair? All right. Well, when they're ready to do that, go ahead and have them do that. Sorry though. I'm keeping that one. All right. All right. Bye. My car is sick. I got the best fucking deal. And obviously, if you have money right now and vehicles are in now is the time to buy a vehicle because it is going to be fucking expensive to buy a vehicle. So I tried to square everything away. I bought brand new clothes, got my fucking car shit done, sold the shitty car, got everything in line because everything's about to be really fucking expensive. And if you don't have it in line, I'm sorry, that means you're living paycheck to paycheck and that sucks. But if you have the chance right now to shore up, do it because it's going to be bad. But anyway, I did shore up, and the radar on that car, because I got the sickest car for the lowest price. I got it at an auction. I can't believe this. Freaking awesome car. But the radar doesn't work in the front. So I'm getting them to fix the fucking radar, and the fucking sales guy wants to buy it off me because it's a fucking. It's like one of the cars for Secret Service agents. It's fucking awesome. It has everything. You can't see shit in it. It's so funny. It looks like it's coming to pick the president up. It's hilarious. It's a Chrysler Pacifica with all of the options and all black and all tint and all chrome trim everywhere and sunroof on the top also tinted. And it's just it looks like a Secret Service car. It may very well be one. I know that it was leased and that it was sold to auction and that there was never an accident. It was clean. And I had to go to the auction to get it. So, yeah, good fucking car. It's a 2018. It's so dope. And they sell right now for about 14 to 16K and I got it for fucking 9K. So that's a very very high discount that you get for going to the auction. Anyway, whatever. Fuck cars. That was what that was, though. All right, so we need to put some. Oh, the shield is a separate object. I forgot. That's interesting. So this thing is a bunch of different things. That makes sense. And this shield is a child item, and this also has a spot for a child for the sword. And we could change this to a different item. So. There it is. Oh, I just fucked up. All right, so this sprite file has this thing. I bet. Yup. That is cool. So you have this whole thing, and it's smart enough to divide these assets out in this file. So I can see all this stuff. I wonder if I can replace its item. Because what I'm going to do is this AI has to understand all these. This is a good asset for my test. So I am going to use this. The reason why is I do need items that are labeled. I need the AI to identify enough intelligence that when I say go pick up the dagger, that it goes and picks the dagger up. This is important. If I don't have that degree of intelligence displayed, nobody's going to believe in my demo, and I'm not going to be able to do anything. Again, I gotta make this totally and completely infallible. This has got to work, and I've got to have a saleable product at the end of it all that I can use to make a bunch of money. All right, so there's a dagger. It's in there, but let's put it in here.
Can we put this? What happens if I put this here? Put it there. And I get rid of this. What happens? Did I get a dagger here? Let me see this. Where is the dagger? Oh, it's there. Oh, I can move you to the right spot, can't I? How about that? If I do, how do I rotate you? It's here. I know how to rotate him. Go up and down like. Oh no, but rotate it. I wish I could do it quick. Oh, there it is. That's the rotation tool. There it is. Looks good. It's behind him. I would like it to be in the front. Order in layer. How about 100? And it sure did put it in front, didn't it? So I told you guys about numbers and these layers and that there was actually a 3D space. That's what that is. So order in layer is that value, and it probably is working in conjunction with other ones. So that's probably not the only value that's related to its position up and down, but it is one of them, and probably the one we're really going to use. Because right now, if you think about it, this guy's a 3D guy. It's not a 2D guy at all. He is 2D. He is actually on paper right now. It's not XYZ space, it's XY space. But he really has a lot of depth. There's a lot of pieces of him, and each piece has its position in order of the layering on him, like a Photoshop file or something. So that's another thing to keep thinking about. Now, I am very curious now if this is going to move with him. It's not blue. Do you see that it's not connected? Do I need to add this to the prefab? Like, do I have to connect it? Like, what's the deal with that? I'm going to try now just to see what this does. I'm going to see if it stays still or if it moves up and down with him when he does this. So, I have no fucking idea. Oh, it works. Boys and girls, it fucking works. I can't zoom in, but it fucking works. Oh, I can zoom in. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It fucking works. I could put it right on his hand, too. Put it in the right spot. All right, my OCD adjacent, really the actually opposite of OCD. There really is nothing OCD about me. I'm about as not OCD as it comes, seriously. To pretend, but I'm really not OCD. I'm like the exact opposite. I could give a fuck whether my hands got washed in the last 20 years. Kind of not OCD. I'm their nightmare. But I guess I am a little bit with numbers. All right, here we go. I don't like it when people lie about stuff either, so I guess I'm OCD about that. I totally could put a beer in his hand. And these are all, oh, look at him. Oh, I love it. So I can exchange these objects, guys. I can do it. So this is now like really good control. We need to make this guy right here behave better. I want him to do things, and then we'll get the AI involved. How are we doing on you? Are you still okay? You are. Okay. I want to get him so he can slash out and punch the thing. And I also want to put vector physics on this thing too. That would be nice so that when it gets hit, it will go somewhere. And let's just see what we can make this guy do though. I'm pretty sure we can add a controller. There should be one. I remember there was one in every one of these guys. And it's this one, I think. That is the animator controller. This is default, of course. So I can add this asset. If you look again, let's look at player 2. If we click on it, that's there. Click there. I want to add component to the knight. It's the same process as I did with the square, but now I'm using a complicated asset. Is there an add to asset? Import new asset. Do I have to put this in here? Do I have to add this to the knight? I may end up asking these questions. Sometimes I bumble around and I just try to do what I do, you know? And sometimes I ask ChatGPT for help. There's never any shame in asking for help. And that's not going in there. So I am going to ask for help. Quickly get some instructions. Look at him go. All right. Oh, interesting. I don't have any scripts at all like that. All right, we're about to do it. Oh, it's a lot of... He's giving me way more instructions than I need, as usual, so we'll just wait. All right. Let's do what we did to the squares and make sure that this object is working the way it's supposed to. So the first thing we want to add is the collider. I don't want this search on. That's why everything was going wrong. It was because that search was on there. So this might even be self-explanatory, but we're going to put the collider on there. So it's physics 2D, and then it was... I think capsule collider, circle, we could, buoyancy collider, box collider. See, giving him this hitbox that sucks is not what I want. I want it to be, I've got to ask ChatGPT more. How do I make the collider circle, or I guess hug the border of the sprites, the non-transparent part. These chats all about asking the right questions. So to make it automatically fit precisely around non-transparent pixels of sprites, you should use a Polygon Collider 2D or the Composite Collider 2D. This is the simplest way, which is to go to the Polygon Collider 2D, which I'm going to now trust here. Let's stop this. And we're going to go to Physics 2D Polygon Collider 2D. And add component, and then Unity will automatically generate collider points around the opaque parts of your sprite. You can manually adjust it. Usually, Unity does a great job. Well, this is not the case. So they did not do a great job. This looks like crap, and that's definitely a collider that was meant for 3D. Or maybe if that... This is probably... This, I know what it is. It's in a 2D world, so that's why it's top-down, and it's considering all of this area around it to be dead zone. That's not okay, though. That's not what I want. No, I don't want a polygon collider. Let's not do this. Goodbye. I don't like you. Composite collider. All right, let's go to physics again. Let's add a rigid body 2D. And let's get that gravity off. And then we need to make a box collider or polygon collider 2D. Let's go with polygon again, I guess.
Okay, that's wrong again. In the collider component, we need used by composite. Used by effector. Used by effector. Used by composite. Don't know what that is. We're going to go ahead and get a composite collider as well. This one. Okay, and then how would anyone know how to do this? Okay. So why does this collider look like ass? Let me see how bad this is. I'm going to check and move the boxes around it and see if it really is that polygon or if that thing is just representing it. So here we go. Yeah, totally. Look at that. I just bumped him out the fucking place too. Alright, so that's lame. How do I make this work? Difference. None of this is doing anything. Needs to be an effector. This is what it is. It's supposed to merge or intersect. And I don't know what the fuck that even means. None of this is doing anything though. Capsule Collider would do it smooth, Doug. That's true. And honestly, we don't need super precise stuff, but from a quality perspective, it would be great to have a good habit from the beginning of how to deal with hitboxes. We are right now at a crossroad. Again, it's a fork in the road, the fucking name of this stream. And the decision is, do we want to go with quality and learn how to do this right the first time, or do we want to do Mario Maker 2? And if we do Mario Maker 2, those spike hitboxes suck. And the reason they suck is because nobody learned how to do it properly in the first place. And they could have, but they didn't. They got excited. They kept moving on. They kept moving on. I'll tell you what, I've had a lot of experience developing software. And in my experience doing it, it's a snowball. It's really, really exciting when you start seeing new things and when things get solved. It's very easy to start scraping down and trying to get yourself out of the hole so that you can say you're done with your project, especially when the end is right there. But it's actually at these decision points that you can make the right call and up the quality of your whole project right then and there. Even if I don't use Unity, it's probably good for me to set a standard of game development right now that is going to last for the rest of the time that I'm making games, to just not use shitty colliders. I don't want to do it. And if I can't figure out how to make a good collider in Unity or how to make it work with this asset, then I honestly shouldn't use Unity. And I think I can. I think I can figure it out. And I think it's worth the investment, even though it has nothing to do with the main goal, which is to get the AI to work with this stuff. That's a high quality thing that if I keep as a standard for the entirety of my gaming career, that I think will be worth keeping. Don't compromise your standards. Another. I want you to think about every time you've ever suffered playing someone else's horseshit game when you're making your own, because you are in control of whether or not that horseshit happens if you're making your own game. All right, let's continue on here. All right, I'm going to ask more questions. All right, so all right, these are called prefabs. All right, I'm asking it if there's a way I can do this at the prefabrication level. We'll see. It says yes. So each prefab object and multiple child objects is doing... Oh, I need a script. I think I need to write this script. This is a script worth writing. Oh, if I write this script, apparently, it's going to take any prefab I put in here, and it's going to outline every single one of them with a collider. One thing I have to be careful of, though, is the layer thing. So I'm going to ask it about that. All right, it is time for a break. It really is this time. I'll be back in an hour. I'm going to hang out with Kaio. She just got back, so hell yes. It is going to be how to make this collider happen, and the AI should be downloaded by then. So we're cool. Thanks all for coming along with this shit. I'm going to keep doing it. Have a good hour.